Hello everybody, I'm going to try and go through setting up a float with you, an insert waggler that we've got here today. These are all the general bits you're going to need. You're going to need a shot-in pot of some kind. This is an old lemonade bottle that I've cut the top off, that I've had for years now. But so I do all my pole rigs and stuff in there. We've got some stop, we've got some Guru split shot, which I've put into a different container because they're more compact and easier to get out. We've got our float here, which is a 1.5 gram Drennan VisiWag series 3, which I favoured probably because they'd be easier to use for the kids, and they're not a bad little float, nice and sensitive, easy to see, easy to shop. We've got our loop tire. We've got a couple of gadgets here that press on split shot or stots. These are an old set of style pinchers. I did have a proper Preston thing, I don't know where that's gone at the moment. So we've got some Waggler adapters and some split shot, different kind of split shot. These are the Zilt ones that I've been banging on to everybody to get. Very soft, brilliant to use, in my opinion. Some of the best split shot that I've ever used, post lead band. So yeah, really good they are. We're going to stick them to one side. Got a pair of scissors because we don't want to be biting anything, and it's just some line for demonstration reasons. This is, I think, 0.17, which is around about 6 or 7 pounds. So a little bit of line there. Let's make a start. So once we've got our container prepared, we've put some cold water in it. The very good tip to use, particularly when pole fishing, is washing up liquid. Just 2 tiny drops, don't need a lot. There you go, well, right, 2.5. And then just let that, what that does, because this is so narrow, there'll be a lot of tension on the surface of the water, which when you're using very fine floats, not so much with these little fellas, but definitely with pole floats, it can tend to give you a false registration and actually hold the bristle of the float up in the water. So by putting some washing up liquid in, what that does is just instantly, as soon as it touches the water, it instantly softens the surface. When you got a greasy pan or something like that, you put a drop of washing up liquid in it and all the grease goes to one side. It does the same thing. So it just softens the water. So the first thing we're going to do, now we've got our water pot sorted out, is take our float and put on one of these Waggler adapters. I like to use the adapters, it makes it easier to change the floats. There's other adapters out there, but I prefer these ones. They're easy to use. So you just undo the clip and pop it on the float like that, and close the clips. So that will obviously add to the weight of the float. So for that reason, we're just going to try the float out to see where it sits. Now hopefully you can see that that's very, very buoyant and going to need a little bit of help. So we'll pop some shot on it and see what we can do. Okay, so the next stage is to attach the line. Now I've done this by putting the line through the eye of the swivel there, and I started off by putting 2 BB on the line. The BB is the bigger one, so 2 BB was too much, so I took off one of the BBs and put on a number 4. So yeah, so that's half. A number 4 is half the size of the BB. So now I've got to make up that half a BB difference. So I always put 3 number 10s on the rig as droppers. In this case they're stots. So let's see what that looks like having taken the BB off. So it's not bad. It's actually, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's sticking up about 2 centimeters, which is not bad. It'll do, but the less you have showing above the water, the better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to attempt to put one of these number 8 stots on, if I can get hold of it. No, wrong way. Got to have the, like I say, I'm having to learn this as well. So there we go. Think of gentle squeeze. You can see the gap close. So now we've got a BB, a number 4, a number 8, and 3 number 10s. So let's try that. Make sure the line's slack. Now I can tell you now that that's just about a centimetre, which is spot on, perfect. It's easy enough to see. You could probably get away with putting another number 10 on that if you really wanted to, but for the juniors I would say that 1 centimetre showing was about right. It gives you something to look at, and also you can see the bites properly, and it's not too bad for sensitivity. So let's take that out of the water. We can get rid of the water now. We've done with that. So let's move that to one side. Always makes Trudy nervous when I'm using water around her crafting area. But hey, what can possibly go wrong? So what we've done here now was the other thing I was going to show you. I've done all the shotting is right at the end of the rig. The reason for that is when you pinch the shots on, it actually damages the line a little bit. But when you slide them, like that, slide everything up. Just need to grip this. There. So you can see that wiggly bit there. I don't know if you can, if it shows up on the camera, but there's a real wiggly bit there, and that's all the damage from pinching the shots on. When you slide them up, of course, they're already pinched on the line, so they don't really damage it that much. So what we need to do, and I do this on all my rigs, pole rigs and everything, is just snip that off and get rid of that. So now we can slide everything up so it's out of the way. We put our number 8 up underneath the bulk as well. So you can see it's kind of balanced. We've got a big shot on one side, and all the rest of the shot is down the other side towards the hook side of the rig. So move everything up out of the way. And what I'm going to do now, of course, is tie my loop. So make a loop. Fold it over. What I normally do is a little twist and pop it through, and then we grab our loop tire like that. So the big one goes through the end, the small one goes through the other one. Pull the knot tight, wet it, and then just, he said, slip it off like that. And there we have a figure of 8 loop knot tied on the end. We can snip that tag end off, make sure you cut the right one. Yes, we've all done it. So basically that is your float rig ready to go. Obviously it all needs to be moved up, the line, and the hook link needs to be put on. But apart from that, that is a very basic float setup. So that's a 1.5 gram VisiWag, okay, with a Waggler adapter, Guru Waggler adapter. We've got 1 BB, a number 4, a number 8, and 3 number 10s as droppers. The bottom one I will almost always put just above the knot of the loop there, and everything else gets spread out. So the BB, the 4 and the 8 will all stay and live around the float. The other shots will get spread out along the line. Now, because we fish a lot of revels, we can make that depth around about 2 feet as a rule, and then we can just spread out these number 10s, usually down the bottom half of the rig a little bit more, like that. So we've got one against the knot. Where are we? There we are. One against the knot. There's another one there, which is what, probably 15 centimeters, something like that, and I'll spread that one the same. So they're spread out 15 centimeters apart, and then all the bulk is around the float itself. Okay, so there you go. That's a very simple Waggler setup, and one that the juniors will have to do to prove that they can pass their level 1. So there's a heads up. Your first bit of coaching this year. Practice it, do it at home until you get it right. But keep testing in the water, keep putting your float in. Every time you put a shot on, test it, see where you're at. As you get more experience, you'll know how many shots you can put on, you know, what you can get away with. But there you go, that's it. One simple Waggler setup. Okay, so the last thing you're going to need to do is attach your hook link. You can either tie them yourself, or you can buy them ready tied. So here we have 2 loops. This, as you'll remember, with the little drop shot, is the loop from our main line. And this is the loop from our hook link. So, how to attach your hook link to your main line. So your loop from your main line is going to pass through the loop on the hook link, and then your hook is going to pass through the loop on your main line, and all you do then, you can see the 2 loops there, they just close up, and that is it. It's as easy as that to finish off your rig. So there you go, there's your size 14 hook attached to your Waggler rig. I hope that was of some use to you. Juniors will be expected to be able to do this to pass their level 1 of their coaching course. So get practicing, and good luck.